everybody how cold it's been.
All right, everybody. This is how cold it is. It's so cold that if you ever said you'll do something when hell freezes over, you're scheduled to do that tomorrow.
Is that your new joke?
Yeah.
Hey guys, winter has officially hit the homestead here. It's been very, very cold in the single digits the last couple days, and I thought you guys might like to come along and just see some of the animals. There's Bob. See how they're doing, see how we take care of them a little bit in this cold weather. And we've had a few changes here on the homestead, so I thought I'd update you guys real quick on that so you can keep up with all the happenings that go on around here. We've done a bit of switching around the last couple days to make feeding and watering a little bit easier through this cold spell. So we moved our stallion Bob into the dry lot. You usually see Oliver and Champion, and then Oliver, Champ, and the foals are out in the big pasture, and we'll show you them here in just a bit.
I don't think the Bobcat will start today because diesel gels up in the winter. It's cold enough. I think it's in single digits, 5 or 6 degrees right now.
Yeah, I think it's at 5.
So probably just have to feed the big horses alfalfa too. But I'll try to start it and see. Ain't gonna happen.
Yeah. Diesels are always hard to start in the cold, like JR said, so we had kind of planned on it, and we put out, thankfully, a round bale the day before for the horses. And then, on top of that, we're going to spread out some alfalfa for them and just supplement a little bit with that. And as you can see, they're very excited to get it. Here comes Oliver. We fed the herd before we fed Oliver and the foals, and they were not very happy about it. They were walking the fence line and they could not wait to get fed. They were hungry. He says, "Where's my breakfast?" So we feed hay twice a day to the herd, and then they also have a protein lick that they have full access to. And then they just get water from the creek that runs through the valley. We check the creek daily to make sure it's not fully frozen over where they couldn't drink out of it, but it's pretty rare for it to do that. You can kind of see down there where the water flows faster that it's still not frozen. If it does freeze solid, you can just take an axe down there and chop it open for them. So in the winter months, the creek on that side of the pasture really just makes watering a breeze for the most part. Next, we're going to run up to the pony barn and feed Winnie and Daisy real quick before we head out to see Oliver and the foals. Hey, girls. Hi. Are you hungry? Oh, so hungry? Hi, Daisy. Winnie is one of the most vocal horses we have ever owned. If there's food involved, she is going to be talking to you. And she still has quite the attitude whenever food is involved, and you're going to see it right here. Be nice. None of that. No, none of that. Quit. Winnie also recently found out that she's pretty good at escaping. So the fence that we had around the pony barn wasn't keeping her in. So for the time being, until we get the fence fixed where she can't get out, her and Daisy are in the barn, and then they have a little dry lot that you just saw behind the barn they can go into, which works perfectly fine for the winter months. They both have really thick winter coats on. Thankfully, as hard of a time as Winnie had, when she was so thin and stuff, she's really put on the weight, and her coat is very thick, you can tell. So, she's all set. And Daisy's like a woolly mammoth. The pony barn doesn't have electric or running water, so it's not far from our house though, and we just lug a bucket of water up there. But right here I have an old horse blanket wrapped around insulating the bucket in hopes that it would keep it from freezing, and it worked pretty well for the first few days when it got really cold, but now at this point it's so cold it's freezing anyways. But I'm chopping it up with a fence post, and then I'll go clean it out and get some fresh water for them. Little puppy's getting a drink. Everybody's all set.
Come on, babies. Come on, Oliver.
About 2 days back, when we were preparing for this cold weather, we put Oliver, Champ, and the foals in this bigger pasture where they have more room. They've really been needing the extra room since the foals are getting bigger. We also set up a larger stock tank with a water heater, so we're not having to water them quite as often. And Oliver actually helped with this. The water tank was in a separate pasture, and he and JR went and got it. You can see here where he's pulling it back, and the tank's in the little wagon. Yeah, Legacy's coming. Legacy, Magnolia, Happy, Rain, Champ. Where's Lakota? Oh, Lakota's way back there. Here comes Oliver. Up, Magnolia? No, no. You're gonna try and get out. You stinker. You stinker. You better go get your hay before it's all gone. Good girl. Come on.
Hi, guys. My two vicious stallions. Don't get between them when there's food. Very dangerous. They could attack at any moment. And don't keep stallions together. They're very mean to each other. And also, other stallions will kill
Babies, foals.
Other horses' foals. That's another one. We're breaking all kinds of rules.
Yep, we are.
Really, Oliver tucks him in bed at night and grooms him. Champ's not mean to him either.
And that's how Image was too.
Yeah. Bob is too, though.
Yeah.
He's been with the herd.
Yep.
The other stallions' babies.
So, I guess we need to do like is it a myth?
Oh, it's true. It's just my horses know I'm the boss. So they don't get to be the boss. They don't get mean. No, I'm tougher than they are.
Listen to them all eating. We'll get closer. Wonder if the camera can hear that.
Is Oliver getting tall yet?
Yeah, you actually don't look super big next to him right there. Oh, you're on the downhill side.
There's a little hole right
there. Oh, okay. I was gonna say,
That's
whoa, you got really tall.
Now we're at the same level. You're still up to my nose. That's the tallest I've ever had.
Why don't we use blankets on our horses? People ask that.
They got blankets on them.
Yep.
They got this long fur, and underneath they got short fur.
Mm-hmm.
They got a double blanket on. Plus, we'd need 22 blankets. And think how many broken legs and everything else you'd get getting tangled up in blankets every night.
So if you don't know, horses grow winter coats, and then when the weather becomes hot, then they shed off their thick winter coats. And if you put a blanket on a horse, then it's hard for them to regulate their body temperature like they naturally would without one. So unless you have it where you can really keep a blanket on full time, then in cold weather it's really not the best idea.
Get close to that horse there and really show the fur. Like zoom in.
Who is that? Happy or
Happy? Get real close.
I am.
Run your finger to it on the camera.
Hi buddy. Hi. Super thick fur.
Yeah, ain't no cold getting through that.
She's so fuzzy. I wish you guys could feel it. Yep. The foals get even fuzzier coats than the adults, I think. They could have their baby coats on.
Pure alfalfa like this is supposed to be 19% protein, which is really, really, really high. Now it's probably not that high, but it's still super high protein, which protein is what they burn to create heat.
Yeah.
So they don't get cold.
So one of the things you are supposed to do, though, when it gets extra cold is feed them a little bit more. Because they burn more of that energy. So they definitely need food to keep them warm.
And then it's important to keep them groomed out. Like yesterday, I groomed Patty because her coat was a little matted from rolling in a wet spot. So I got her out and groomed her real good because that coat needs to stay fluffy in order for them to stay warm. And then just watch them, keep them healthy. If it's snowing and that snow sits on top of that fluff real powdery, then you know that horse isn't losing any heat. If it sits on there and melts and forms icicles as it drips off, then you know that horse is losing heat, and you need to figure out what's wrong with its body and homeostasis. Worm it or groom it or feed it more or something. Yesterday, on the coldest day of the year, I checked, and 2 of them I was worried about was Patty and Olivia. So I wormed Olivia. I treated her for lice. I had her inside, fed her an extra bunch, and then watched her, and she wasn't cold anymore and was looking good. And I turned around, I checked her first thing this morning. She's looking great, so I'm not worried about her. And then, like I said, Patty, I got to looking at her. She looked a little cold. And when I say looked a little cold, I've had horses my entire life, so I kind of think that I can read their expression on their face like you can a person's, you know?
Yeah.
You know, like everybody can read body language on a human because we're around humans our whole lives. If you were around horses your whole life, you could read their expressions too. So Patty looked a little cold, got her out of, and I've got her in a stall up at my mom's house getting extra food for the winter because she's our oldest horse. Sure enough, Mom had put her away and didn't notice that she had rolled out in the wet grass before this weather hit the day before.
Yeah.
So I groomed her real good and got her good and fluffy and put her away, and she's doing fine too. Boy, look at Champ's back. He's getting fat.
Champ's always been chubby.
He is gonna be a good one.
He's a chunky boy.
Yeah, we should weigh Oliver again.
Yeah, we need to. People have been asking about that.
Yep.
Well, all the foals are pretty chunky.
Yeah,
They've been getting a lot of good
I
food.
don't see any of them that are really hurting.
No.
Looking good.
Lakota's really starting to get height to him.
I still really kind of want to sell this one because she's not out of my stuff. So I don't want to spend 5 years training her since she's not out of my stallion.
Magnolia.
So if somebody wants a good, sweet, gentle horse.
She is a sweetie.
Yeah.
She wasn't for a while. She was so scared, but now she's just a sweetheart.
I'm also having
Super
a little trouble getting her registration pulled up, and the board meeting is having a special discussion about her this week to see if they're going to make an exception and get her registered for me. But either way, if somebody will buy her without the papers, I'd just sell her real cheap as long as they're willing to prove that they have a good home for her. Like
we want her to have
let
a
us
good
Facebook
home.
stalk them, and if they're not on Facebook, they're going to have to do a video or something.
And you have to talk on the phone, and yep. She's got a pretty fluffy coat too, really.
Yep, she's gotten a lot sweeter too.
She
was the
is.
first one to come up and let me pet her this morning.
Yep.
Everybody, I have Olivia caught up in the barn today. I noticed we've been feeding round bales, and when you do that, seems like lice always breaks out in the wintertime. Lice is a very common thing when feeding round bales and hay feeders. I don't know why that is. It's always happened to our cattle and occasionally to a horse once in a while. So I caught her up, and I put this stuff on her called Ultra Boss. I put it down the mane and her back. It treats external parasites. Then I also gave her orally some ivermectin, about 20 cc's of liquid cattle dewormer, because it will treat external parasites like ticks and stuff as well. And I thought it might help on the lice. So we have her up, and then we're feeding her a little extra. She's plenty fat to not be cold, but anytime they get a parasite like that, it's not great for their homeostasis of their system. So we're gonna have her up for a couple days and just watch her, maybe give her another round of wormer in a day or two, something not ivermectin based. And I don't know, she's in great shape and she's healthy, but for some reason, she's the one that came down with parasites. Of 21 horses, she's the only one showing any sign of lice. So.
Well, she just went through the stress of a new home and the auction and stuff like that.
That all has to do with the immune system.
Hey, baby.
And
you can see it right there.
And stress, like Emery said. So.
Yep.
Give her a little extra attention.
So definitely not fun for Olivia, poor girl, but we've treated her, we're going to take care of her and continue to monitor it, make sure it clears up, and we will keep an eye on the rest of the herd just in case, watch everybody closely, treat anybody if needed, but we're not overly concerned about it and everyone's going to be okay. We recently moved the sheep back on JR's parents and we're going down, what do we call this, the dump road? Which is a silly name because it's the prettiest path.
Well, there's
through the woods.
burn our trash back there a ways.
Yeah, that's why. So
just a four-wheeler path now, but that's what's good about having a 1999 Nissan Frontier as your primary driving tool. You don't have to worry about scratches or tearing it up. Watch for the sheep, because when I said I moved them back here, I just moved them back here free range. They're just loose back here. We're surrounded by national forest, so there's really nowhere they can go, but they also can go anywhere they want to go too. So they could be wandering through the woods, but my hope is that there's enough really good grass back here.
There they are.
That they just stay where they're supposed to be.
They've been back here for how many days?
3. Well, I tried twice last week and they just came home.
Yeah.
And now they've been back here for 3 days.
They're gonna run away.
They're used to a four-wheeler, not the truck.
Oh, they look more at home this time. They look like they've relaxed a little. Here they come. Yeah. Good babies. They're all looking pretty plump. I don't have your food. Hold on. Good girls. Look how much Freckles grown. She was just a baby last fall. We have one sheep back at the house that's not feeling good. Her name is Cow.
Now we gotta try to sneak the dog food to Bear. Come here, Bear.
I'll stay here. Nope, go with him.
Come here, Bear.
Hi, girlies. Hi, Freckles. Hi. Sweet Pea's pretty friendly. Aren't you, girly? And this one right next to her is pretty friendly. Sweet Pea will let you pet her all the time. This one's friendly. Yeah, you're friendly. You're crazy friendly. You're annoying friendly, huh? One of the problems we have been having is when we feed Bear, some of the sheep will go over there and try to eat his food. He's not aggressive towards them, and he just backs off and allows them. So JR has been taking Rhonda when he goes to feed and working her and having her herd them, keep them at bay, which is great for Rhonda and her training, good for Bear so he can eat his food, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, it will train the sheep to stay away from Bear while he's eating.
I've been working on wider outruns on Rhonda. So we're going to see how she's doing. She's doing pretty good today. Away.
The sheep are right behind me, about 10 to 15 feet.
Cut. Down. Lay down. Rhonda, lay down. Lay down. Come by. Of course, she's doing better when the camera was off, but there's a good wide outrun like I like. Easy. Down, 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 down.
JR's really been working hard with Rhonda, trying to get her tuned up. She is an older dog, so it makes it a little bit more difficult, but overall, she's doing really great.
She listened to that really well.
As a lot of you know, we recently decided it was time to start searching for Jewel and Miracle's new homes. And we're happy to say they both found really wonderful homes, and we're super excited for them. Jewel is now in Utah with her new family, and I think she's doing really good from what we know. When we got Jewel, we kind of knew this would just kind of be a passing place for her, a little safe haven as she finished raising Magnolia. Now that Magnolia is grown and weaned, it just was Jewel's time to move on, and we're very happy that we were able to help her find her new home. And then little Miracle is headed all the way to Colorado to her new home and family, and they're going to finish out her training, so we're very excited for her. And her new family actually had her picked up by a very fancy, huge trailer. It was so big, it couldn't get down our county road, so we actually just drove out to meet them with Miracle. Good girl, Miracle. Miracle loaded up very well and has quite the ride to Colorado.
Yeah, she's got a lot of room in here. She'll be able to lay down and everything, and it's bedded good.
We don't use horse transportation often, but we have a couple times over the years, and we've used this company, so we know firsthand that Miracle is going to be well taken care of on her trip to her new home. If you ever use a transporter, we highly, highly recommend that you do your research and don't just go with the cheapest option. Make sure you're going with someone who's going to take care of your horse. We wish Jewel, Miracle, and their new owners the very best. We're very excited for them and hope they love their new home. I know we were very blessed to have Jewel and Miracle grace our farm, even if it was just for a short time.